So tonight we are all here because of this one book, the Bible. The Bible. And in this one book, there are thousands of stories. And one would begin to believe that God liked to tell stories. Because stories have meanings, and meanings have memories, and memories remind us of what we should and should not do in our life, right? To get us back on target. And especially with the four Gospels, you can read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John and tell that story after story, and then you can read Luke, and it's just, and then you can read Acts, and Luke goes into Acts and starts telling you more stories. And so I believe that through this book and tonight, I would like to bring one of those stories to life as if you were there inside of this story. And this story comes out of Judges 13 through 16. So if you will allow me, I would like to pretend that I am that person in that story without the devil interrupting. So I'm going to turn my back and then turn back around. Let's pretend I just rolled out here, all right, on stage.
Oh, okay.
Hello, my name is Samson. Has anybody ever heard of me before?
Yes.
Oh, see, that's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. I'm famous. I was famous in my town. I was famous in my state. I was famous in my country. Shoot, some would have said I was famous all over the whole world. I was Samson. I was invincible. I was the strongest man that ever lived. So strong that even today at the Special Olympics, they would have had to have a special category for my kind of strength. That's what I'm talking about. No one could come next to me. No one could defeat me. I was Samson. I was invincible, right?
Right.
This was me years and years and years ago. And to prove my case about how strong I was, I remember this time. I'll tell you a couple stories. I remember this time I was headed down to Timnah, and I saw this girl. Her name was Tauren. All right, she was beautiful. You know what I'm talking about? A little hourglass figure. You know, she was good looking, right? There was only one problem. She was a Philistine, and I was an Israelite. I was part of God's people that He promised to love and to take care of forever. Not the enemy. And I fall in love with the enemy. So I go home and I tell my parents, we live in Zorah, and I tell my mom and dad, I want that lady, I want that Philistine girl. Of course, they're mad. Samson, you can't find an Israelite woman to marry someone in God's people. You got to go pick the enemy to go fall in love with? Huh. Mom, Dad, I ain't got time for all that. I'm in love with this girl. All right, so I decided one day, I started stalking her out on Facebook. I check out her photos. I see where she's been, see what she likes. I think I might try to marry this girl. Yeah, she's got what it takes. So I head on down to Timnah. It's like walking from here to Grifton. All right, you got some like plain paths to walk. Then you got some rocky areas. Then you got some woods. Now I'm talking about shady kind of woods where you just kind of have to watch over your back. You don't know who's in the shady woods, right? Might try to rob me. Might try to take stuff that I was taking to Timnah. You see this girl Tauren, right? So I'm walking down the shady woods. I'm a little nervous. I don't know why. And all of a sudden I see this round, oval, yellow fur thing. And you know, to be honest, I don't know if I saw the lion or if I heard the lion's roar. It was loud. I mean, it was loud. It was ferocious. The kind of ferocious the roar that paralyzes someone, right? When you hear it, you're paralyzed and you can't even move. You can't even, I mean, what was I going to do? Call my mom? You know, what was I going to do? Pee in my pants? There's a lion in front of me, right? No, I'm Samson. I'm invincible. I can take on this lion. Shoot. Lion ain't got nothing on me. Right? And I hear and I see the lion and he's starting to like leap and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, maybe I should duck. I'm not sure. Slap myself. Oh, I'm Samson. Like I can do this. And so the lion, I can just see the trajectory and here he comes. And so and I grabbed the lion, and I start tugging and tugging and tugging. And I felt this warmth come over my arms and this strength. I mean, it was incredible. At that very moment, I thought, oh my gosh, what is happening? And I'm wrestling with this lion, and before I know it, he's on the ground, and I'm watching the lion take his last breath. And he was dead, and he was in half. I had split that lion in 2 pieces and laid him by the side of the road. Heck yeah, I'm Samson. I'm the invincible, right? Of course I ripped him in half. All right, so if you don't believe me, let me tell you another story. There was a time I went down to the port city of Ashkelon. It's like going to Morehead City, right? They were having a big old flea market sale, right? They were having all these imports and exports, or if you've ever been to the Raleigh flea market, you know what I'm talking about. They got a lot to sell. Jams, nuts, you know, they got it all. And I'm down there, I got a little money in my pocket, and I'm thinking, you know, I can buy anything I want. And I start looking everywhere. Oh, what did I see? Oh, saw another pretty foxy lady. Yeah, I saw another lady, and guess what? She was for sale. That's what I'm talking about. All right? So we went back to her place, popped some popcorn, watched some Netflix, you know, the same old thing. And it got to be about midnight, and I thought to myself, I'm a little tired. I think I want to go home. I ain't going to wake up next to this woman, right? I'm going home. So I walk out, and I'm headed out of the city. See the Philistines in all those cities, they were protected by walls and gates, and the walls were like 6 feet thick of stone, and they were surrounded around the entire city, and the doors were like those kind of doors you see on a castle, the kind that you can't even, if you were to knock, ain't nobody gonna hear you knock, right? They were thick and solid, and they had those thick copper bronze hinges on there, and support rods, and all this kind of stuff. They were huge, huge gates. And so I'm leaving her house, and walking out, and I see that all the windows are boarded up. I'm like, well, that's kind of odd. So I'm making my little merry way down to the gates, because I'm going to leave, right? I'm going to go back to my town store. And I get halfway down, I start hearing these whispers. We got him. Oh, we got Samson this time. And I'm like, what is going on? And see, I had on my disguise, so I didn't think anybody would think anything of it. They wouldn't know who I was, right? I come to their town, I'm in disguise. You know, I go watch a movie with a girl, and now I'm leaving, and everything's gonna be cool. Nobody's gonna ever know I was here. No, someone recognized me and started calling in for support troops to come, because they were gonna get me, they were gonna capture me. I was the only thing that stood between the Philistines taking over Israel and just taking us over. I was the only thing in their way. If they could get rid of Samson, they had it. Well, I get to the gates and I look at them. I mean, what am I going to do now? What would you have done? Would you have picked the lock? Would you have tied some sheets together and thrown it over the wall and prayed that somebody over there would help pull you up? No, I'm Samson.
You're Samson.
I can take care of this. This ain't nothing, right?
Right.
So I turn around and everybody's watching. They're like, oh yeah, we got him now. I walk up to that gate and I see those support beams, and I got to thinking, them support beams, now that could come in handy, right? So I start, let me try this. No, hold on. Let me squat and get this. So I start pushing. And I felt that same warmth that happened when I was with the lion, when I was tearing it in half. I felt the warmth come up my arms and the energy, right? And so I start tugging on this gate, and it's like cracking, and it's making noises, and like things are falling, and it wasn't my body, it was the gate. I had pulled that thing out of the ground, that huge castle double gate. I had pulled it out of the ground with my strength. I picked up that thing. I know what they were thinking. I heard them go, oh. They were stunned. And I know what they were thinking. I was going to drop it and I was going to run like a little kid. No, I ain't running. I'm Samson. You've heard of me. I'm invincible. Ain't nobody going to touch me. I rule this neighborhood. Right? I got this. No, I picked up that gate and I took it 28 miles up the next hill. They could have gone and gotten their little horses and drug it back if they wanted to, but I humiliated them. Not only did I leave, but I I humiliated them by leaving that gate 28 miles up the hill. Well, all right, then there's that girl. Remember the girl I told you in Timna? The foxy one, right? Well, I did get proposed to her, and I changed my Facebook status. This is in a relationship. And see, back then, the groom had to pay for the wedding. All right, thank goodness, because Lisa Jordan, that would have been an expensive wedding if I had to pay for the whole wedding, right? So back in the day when I lived, when Samson lived, we paid for the wedding. Well, those Philistines, they know how to throw a wedding. Let me tell you, it's 7 days of a party. Not just a one-night party, it's a 7-day event. I've got to find out what cheeses they like, what breads they like, what beers they like, and oh, they like all kinds of beer. And the wines and all the stuff. And so I have to save my little piggy bank in my room. You know, back in Zor, I have to put all my money in there because I got to pay for this wedding. Wow. So I'm headed back. You know, I saw the refrigerator, the date certain wedding, so it's coming up. By the time I get walking, see, I didn't have a car. Okay, I couldn't afford a car. I hadn't saved up my money yet. So walking was my transportation. So I started walking back to Grifton, you know, walking back to Timna. And I was coming up on that area where I tore that lion in half. And I don't know if it was the curiosity in me about, wonder whatever happened to that lion. What if it's still there? What if the vultures came and ate it? So I kind of take a little detour, and I go over here where I think I left that lion. Yep, sure enough, he's still in half, laying right there, right where I left him. But you know what was the funniest thing? There were bees everywhere. And I'm like, bees were flying everywhere, all around the dead lion where I left him. And I went up to it, and I was hot. Kind of like today at the Olympics. I was burning up. And I don't know about you guys, but the heat index there in Timna is like 125 year-round. And so I was getting a little lightheaded. And my sugar was low. I just needed something to drink, something to eat. I mean, I thought I was going to pass out. And I come up on this lion, and there's all these bees everywhere. I didn't even think about it. I just reached down in there. Because wherever there's bees, there's a honeycomb, right? I reached down in that lion, I dug up that honey, and I was eating that honey like it was nobody's business. It was dripping all over my arms, it was all in my hair, it was all over my beard, it was everywhere. That felt good. Now I'm on a sugar high. Oh, no, I didn't. That was one of the vows. God said that I couldn't break 3 vows, and one of them was touching a dead animal. And what did I just do? I just ate honey out of a dead animal. Not only did I rip them apart the other week, but now I'm like, I'm all inside of them, eating the honey. So I'm thinking, okay, this is it, I'm doomed. Lightning is going to strike, you know, the earth is going to swallow me up. So look up in the ceiling, look up in the sky. Well, it's not even cloudy. It's kind of sunny. I guess I'm not getting struck down by lightning. And so, okay, sure enough, the earth is just going to open up and it's just going to swallow me whole. That's it. The earth is solid. Nothing's happening. Of course nothing's happening. My mom and dad, they freaked me out growing me up. I didn't have no vows. Parents, they're such a nag. God, he doesn't even know what he's talking about. I'm Samson. God forgot. I'm Samson. I'm invincible. You can't touch me. So I continue my little path up to Timna, where I'm going to marry Taran, right? Well, we're about in the day 3 or 4 of the wedding, and the guys are kind of checking me out. You know, as Israelites, we're like farmers. We don't really have tools or weapons. I mean, we're just like farmers. But Philistines, whoa, they're like from the movie Tarzan. They're like Hogan, you know, they're like, they're like men, right? These guys are strong and furious, and boy, can they drink. Well, I'm trying to hang with them, right? Because I'm trying to marry a Philistine girl. I gotta, like, take it up a notch. And so they're coming up to me and they're going, hey, Samson, are you a man's man or are you like one of them farmer boys? Oh, well, I'm a man's man. And they said, well, here, take some of this, drink some of this, drink some of this. No, I don't want anything to drink. And they said, no, this is not what you think it is. Just take this long neck bottle. You'll love it. Oh, okay. Oh my God, second battle. The God said, do not drink fermented drink. That includes beer and wine. So now I've touched a dead animal. I drink beer, and I wasn't supposed to. I look up at the sky, still sunny. I tap the ground again. It's still hard as it was. Okay, see, I knew it. I knew I was Samson. Why was I even doubting myself? I have broke 2 of the 3 vows that God put on my life, and nothing happened. Nothing, nada, zilch, zero, nothing. Right? So I go on, so we're up there drinking the beer, and I throw it down, a little upset with them, but whatever, nothing happened, I'm Samson. And the king says, riddle me this. Oh, I like riddles. So he tells me a riddle, gives me the answer. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, it was a corny riddle anyway. Hey, you want to know a real riddle? I am going to give you the real riddle, if I can get that out of my mouth. Out of the eater comes something to eat. Out of the strong comes something sweet. Well, who's ever heard of a riddle like that? That's the riddle that Samson gives them. And he says, as a matter of fact, I'll give you 3 days to solve the riddle. And all of y'all can try to figure out what the riddle is. And the king's like, hold on a second, Samson. You're going to give me 3 days to solve a riddle, and we all get to be in on it? Let's set a wager. Okay, I'll wager. All right, well, what you want to wager? Samson says, well, my people need clothes. Because y'all always steal our stuff, being the Philistines, we're going to need clothes for my people. So I will trade you, I will wager 30 of these beautiful outfits, okay, found on Amazon. I will trade you 30 outfits for the riddle. King said, you're on. They spend 2 days, they can't figure out the riddle, they're asking everybody. They asked Mary Beth, they asked Jackie, they asked him, ain't nobody got the answer to the riddle. So they cornered the bride-to-be, and they said, listen, if you don't find out what the answer is to the riddle, you and your father, dead. We're going to kill him. So the little bride-to-be walks up to Samson and says, Samson, honey, I would hate to start our relationship off on the wrong foot. I can't believe that you hadn't told me the answer to the riddle that you told those men to solve. And he goes, well, ain't nobody going to be able to solve it. I made up the riddle, I got the answer, and that's where the answer is. Samson, now we just can't get married if you're going to be holding secrets. Lord have mercy. So he tells her what the answer is. What does she do? She runs off and tells him, right? Of course, she doesn't want to die. She doesn't want her father dead. But at the same time, she sold me out. I'm Samson. So he comes up to me the next morning, and he says, what's stronger than a lion and what's sweeter than honey? That's the answer to the riddle. Samson's like, whoa. You got the answer? And he looks at his bride, Terry, the bride-to-be Terry, and he's like, you sold me out? And the king says, yes, you owe me 30 garments. Go get them now. So I go back to the port city of Ashkelon, right? I am mad as fuck. I go there. I end up killing 30 of the Philistines. I steal their clothing. I take it back. I slam the tunics on the table, and I said, here's your payment. Now hand me my bride. And he goes, oh, you'll have to go talk to her dad. Where's her dad? Over here. Mr. Terry's dad, I'm here to collect my bride. Oh, well, I thought you didn't like her. I thought you were upset or something. You left the wedding so abruptly. You remember that best man in your wedding? Yeah, I let her marry him. She married my best man at my wedding? Are you kidding me? I am mad as fire. All right, I am madder than that. I go home, I stew over it. I'm like walking and pacing all the linoleum off of our floor and Zora, and I'm just like, I've got to come up with a plan. Oh, I got a plan. Guess what the plan is? I found 300 foxes. I put a torch between their two tails and tied them up in pairs and lit them suckers on fire. You know what happened?
Yeah.
300 foxes are running all over the grain field, screaming for their life. It's burning the field. It burns down the pack house with all the stored grain in it. It burns up the olive groves. It burns up the vineyards. Everything that they had, gone, wiped it out. You know what they did in return when they found out it was me? You're not going to believe this. This is really, really, really sad. They burned my wife and her father.
Uh-oh.
Read your Bible, people. They burned my Bible. They burned. That's wrong. They burned my wife and her dad.
Why would they do that?
Revenge. So then they come to my town. 15,000 Philistines show up in my town of Zorah. And they walk up to the elders and they say, we want Samson delivered to us right now, or else we will kill your families, we will take your crops, your businesses, we'll burn your houses, everything gone if you don't hand this over Samson. The elders come up to me. Samson, we got a problem. All right, what's the problem? Samson, they are threatening us. They're threatening our lives, our family, our businesses, our homes, everything if we don't hand you over. We know that God sent you to us, and you know Samson, you know we like you. But Samson is her family. Wait, tell us what to do. Okay, I got a plan. Here's what you do. You're going to tie me up with ropes. No, not those little Hobby Lobby ropes. No. I'm talking about real ropes. Ropes they use in the Army and the Navy. Ones that are made of twine and it's really, really thick, right? That you bring in a ship. I want you to tie me up with 2 of those ropes. They've got to be new ropes. I want you to tie me up, leave me at the end of the field, and tell them to come and get me, that I'm all theirs. Samson, we can't do that. They'll kill you. That's like pressing the red easy button at Staples, right? That's just too easy. He said, no, that's what you're going to do. You're going to tie me up, put me at the end of the field, and tell them to come and get me. Imagine this, 15,000 Philistines out there on the horizon. These are men, right? And they have their swords and they're ready. And whoever gets to me first, whoever kills me first, well, they're going to be famous. They're going to be in all the history books. So everyone wants to be the one that slays my head and holds it up as a prize. Here's 15,000 of them. And here's me tied up at the end of the field. Hey, ain't worried, I'm Samson. I got this. And all of a sudden, they start charging. And they're getting closer, and they're like 1/3 of the way, and then they're 2/3 of the way. And when they're 2/3 of the way, I think, I should probably pop the ropes down. And I go, uh-oh, they tied me up a little tighter than I was expecting. And then I finally pop them open. And the ones on the front end are running because they're like, yeah, we're going to be the first ones there. We're going to be the ones that kill them. And then they see me bust out of the ropes. And they're like, well, you know what? We don't want to be a glory hog. We'll let you guys on the second row. You just go on ahead. And they start, and the guys in the second row was like, why is everybody stopping? Come on, charge ahead. And they're like, yeah, go ahead. We just see what happens. And all of a sudden, people start screaming, and it's not a screaming of like, yes, we've got them, but it's a scream of like, holy freaking cow, what is going on? And everybody's backing up. I find a dead donkey's jawbone laying on the field. Because I'm thinking, what am I going to fight these guys with? I have nothing. Pick up that jawbone, and I look like a farmer clearing his ditches or clearing his crops. And I start slinging and slinging and slinging this way and left and right. And before you know it, 1,000 of them were dead, and the rest of them, well, they hightailed it off. But see, that was the sad part. See, my parents, they couldn't have children. My dad's name was Manoah, and him and his wife, my mother and father, couldn't have children. And they had prayed for a child. And the angel of the Lord came to them and said, we are going to give you a child, but this is a special child. This child will have unbelievable strength, but there are some conditions. Number one, has to be raised as a Nazarene. All right, that's just the umbrella. He has to be raised as a Nazarene. But vow number one, don't ever touch a dead animal. Number two, do not ever drink beer or wine. Number three, do not ever cut your hair. See this beautiful hair? Don't ever cut it. See, when people see me, it sets me aside from everybody else. You'll know that there's something special about me because my hair was never cut. Now, that's something your father's never said, right? Don't cut your hair, Samson. All right, so they would know me. I would stand out. And so here I have already failed. I've already disappointed. It's all been about me, what I want. Right?
Why?
Let me tell you about another story. You may have heard about it. I had this other beauty that I was in love with. Anybody know who? Oh, you've heard of her. I see. Everybody's heard of Delilah. She was more foxy than that Taryn lady. But they were both from Timnah. They were both Philistine women. I mean, if you want to know how to fill out a dress, that girl could fill out a dress. She was smart. She was witty. She was funny. She had like all these followers on Facebook. Her Snapchat account was just like crazy. I mean, everything about her. This was the woman to be, and I was going to be with her. Every man wanted to be with Delilah, but I was going to have her, right? She was mine, all right? And I remember her and I were together one night, and she said, Samson, we got trust issues. Trust issues? What you talking about, Delilah? Just like a woman. She said, Samson, you have not been honest about your strength and where the source of your strength comes from. Oh, Delilah, I'm just a strong man. Now, Samson, we're not going to do this. I mean, I'm just going to be so upset, and she's over there crying. Oh, my God, throw the girl a bone, right? I mean, this girl was perfect. Well, she was, maybe she was 89% perfect. Well, okay, 75% perfect. Oh, she was 56% perfect. Who am I going to lie? That woman was a nag. All right? She was just a nag. She was easy on the eyes and good looking to look at, but boy, she was a nag. And when she wanted something, she just pestered me to death, asking me over and over, where's all your strength come from? I mean, I got tired of hearing her nagging all the time. And she said, Samson, I'm serious this time. I'm not cooking or doing none of your laundry until you tell me the source of your strength. I said, okay, if you tie me up with string, okay, and you maybe braid my hair, I'll lose my strength. That crazy woman braided my hair one night when I was asleep, tied me up with rope. And then she wakes me up. Samson, wake up. The Philistines are here. I wake up and they're in my bedroom. I'm like, what in the world? This woman's batty. I mean, did I really say I liked her? I bust out of those ropes. Them Philistine men, they took off running. Samson, a couple nights later, Samson? I mean, I'm just so upset. We're going to have to get a divorce from our relationship and change your status on Facebook because I just can't bear to be with you. You won't be truthful with me. I mean, over and over, right? I've had so many nights of these. So I finally, you know what, I got sick of all that. So I sat her down one night, you know, after dinner, and I said, Delilah, the source of my strength. Let me tell you what happened. I already broke 2 of my 3 vows. I touched a dead animal on the way to my wedding. At my wedding, someone made me drink beer, and nothing happened.
Wow.
But the only vow I've never broken was cutting these locks, cutting these hair. So, I guess if I cut my hair, I'd lose my strength, thinking that wouldn't really happen, right?
Right.
She is so loving that night. I mean, she makes dessert. She rubs my shoulder. She's like, let's watch movies. She's so overly nice. I fall asleep. Samson, Samson, wake up. The Philistines are here. The Philistines are here. I wake up and they're in my bedroom at the edge of the door because they don't want to go all the way in. They're scared I'm going to, like, you know, get up and kill them. And I go, oh, I'm going to get out of this one. Delilah, what did you do to me? I can't break the, wait a minute. I don't even feel my hair anymore. Delilah, did you cut my hair? She cut my hair. I had no strength. The Philistines recognized what happened and they came in and they got me. They captured me. They tied me up and they took me to prison. And while I was in prison, they took an ice pick and they gouged one eye out. And then they gouged my other eye out. And now I'm blind. Not only do I have no more strength, I'm blind. And I'm in this jail. And I'm wondering, what does my future look like? And before I know it, I'm tied to this looking well thing. And they're using me like an oxen to turn and grind the grain for them. I become a slave, a prisoner. And you know what? The saddest part about all that was not the fact that they had gouged out my eyes, but that I had already begun to notice that I was failing God. So then came time for their feast. They had this celebration to honor their Dagon. Dagon was their god, because they didn't believe in our God. They had a god of food and spirit, a god of tablecloths, a god of chairs. I don't know. They had a god for coffee. They had all these gods, and it was called Dagon. And it was the day that they were going to honor Dagon. And for entertainment, I was brought out of the jail to entertain them. Hey, Samson, pick up that rock. Ha, 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 you can't, I forgot. Hey, Samson, read this letter. Oh, I forgot, you can't, you have no eyes. Ah, ha, ha, ha. They were using me for entertainment. And I was very, very weak. I mean, I had nothing else to give. And so I told the jail's guardsman, I said, can you park me up against something? Just so I can lean. I just feel so weak. And so he takes me over and he says, here's one of the pillars. And I said, oh, okay, that helps. And he goes, here, stretch out your other arm. And I stretch out the other arm, and there's the other pillar. And I'm standing there, and remember, I'm blind, and I'm feeling the pillars, and I'm like, wait a minute. I remember when this temple was constructed, it was all about these two pillars, and then this header, and then the header was like a truss, and it kept up the whole temple, and oh my gosh, I think I'm standing in the center of the strength of the temple. And I said, God, if there's any way that you could use me just one more time, God, I will die with the Philistines if you would give me back my power and allow me to shake these columns loose. And sure enough, God answered my prayer. And I stood there, and they're up there having a good time laughing at me, and I'm over here praying by myself. And I start pushing and pushing, tugging and pulling and pushing and tugging and pulling. And I keep on, and all of a sudden, everything starts swaying, and there I can hear all the Philistines right now going, what is happening? And the entire temple came down. And not only did I lose my life, but I killed more men in that day than I had killed my entire life. And again, what was sad was that here God had chosen my parents to bring a deliverer, to deliver God's people out of times when all of the countries ruled over us. The Philistines were just one of the particular people, and they had been ruling over us for 40 years. They had been stealing our stuff. So you go out today and you make $100 at work, and they would take $85 of your $100 and say, here, good luck feeding your family and buying clothes and paying your cable bill. Right? That's all you would have. They robbed us all the time. They killed us for no reason. And here they had ruled over us for all this time, and I was the one chosen to come and bring them back. And what did I do? I lost it over honey, beer, and women. I lost everything over those three things. And it's not you know, God still used me, Samson, even though I was a big screw up, right? I was not the man he wanted me to be. He had this ministry for me. He had this plan for me of what I was going to do. And time after time after time, it was about chasing women. I mean, me and Tiger Woods got a lot in common now, right? I mean, we can't play golf. I can't play golf. But, like, the women, like, we like some women. And I lost it over that. And, you know, how can you apply this story to your life is that stories have memories. And memories create something in your mind that you can flash back and say, you know what, I'm doing it wrong, and I need to get good with God. He might have placed a ministry on your heart. I don't know what He's placed on you, but are you going to give it up for honey and beer and women? Come on, guys. You know, we got to focus. We got to. And only twice did I ever pray to God. Only twice did I ever feel like, you know, I probably can't handle this, so I'll ask Him for some help. No, I should have asked Him for help along the whole way. And if I had kept my vows, I would have done what God wanted me to do. When you think that you are better than He is, or that you can do it by yourself, guess what? Watch out. He'll humble you.
Watch it.
He'll humble you faster than you know it.
For you.
He thought that because his punishment for breaking his vows didn't come immediately, that they would never come at all. And guess what? God does not let sin go unpunished. And he thought he was better than all that. All right? I thank y'all for letting me pretend to be Samson tonight. I hope that you got the message out of that. So let's bow our heads real quick, and then we will move on to something else. Lord, I thank you for, gosh, I've had a lot of demon darts coming at me all of a sudden within like 48 hours, just all over this Samson story. I prepared weeks in advance, and then it just seemed like at the last minute, every single thing. And Lord, I know that among anything that we're going through in our life, in our daily routines, in our week routines, or in the week that we've all had this week so far, or in the week that's coming up, that when something is happening, that we stop and we kneel down and we say, God, you got this. This is about you. This whole story is about you. We're just telling the story. And Lord, I want you to have guidance over my life. I want you to have guidance in the decisions that I make. And Lord, if you've placed a ministry on my heart, that you sometimes, hit me on the shoulder and be like, Lisa, what you doing? Get back straight. And that we don't throw it away like Samson did, and that we make you proud. All right, in Jesus' name, I pray, amen.
Amen.